Over 7 years of marriage, I lost $1 million and my belief in love. But on the day of my 33rd birthday, looking at my drunk husband and his manipulative mother at the festive table, I realized it was time to reclaim my life. I was sitting at the table in my suburban Boston home, surrounded by relatives and friends. On the outside, I was smiling, but inside, everything was boiling. I turned 33, and this birthday had to be a turning point in my life. The table was filled with typical American holiday dishes: turkey, potato salad, macaroni and cheese, apple pie, all of which I had cooked myself as usual. My husband, Michael, was sitting across from me, his face flushed from the beer he had drunk. He was whispering something to his mother, Barbara, who kept giving me judgmental looks. Jessica Thompson, was never one to give up easily. I grew up in a small town in Massachusetts, where life taught me to be strong. When I was 10, my father left the family, leaving my mother alone with 2 children. She worked double shifts as a nurse to provide us with an education. I watched her endure, and it hardened my character. Jess, dear, maybe you should spend less time at work and more on the home. Barbara interrupted my thoughts, adjusting her perfectly styled gray hair. Michael needs support to develop his business ideas. I smiled politely, remembering how I met Michael 7 years ago at a mutual friend's party in downtown Boston. Michael seemed perfect then, a successful engineer at a tech company with a hint of gray at the temples and a charming smile. He told captivating stories about startups and innovations that everyone was thrilled about. I, with an MBA from Boston University and working as a financial director at a large logistics company, was enchanted. You know, Jess, he told me on one of our first dates at a cozy restaurant in Cambridge, I see a kindred spirit in you. You understand business, you have ambitions. We could build something great together. How bitter it is to recall those words now. 6 months after our wedding in suburban Boston, Michael lost his job. It's temporary, babe, he assured me, sitting in our kitchen with a cup of morning coffee. I have some amazing ideas for a startup. Just need a little time and a small investment. I supported him, paid all the bills, and made the down payment on our house in Newton worth $750,000. As for Michael, he turned our living room into an entrepreneur's office, where he spent days on his laptop, supposedly developing business plans. Sweetie, I need $20,000 to develop a prototype, he would say. It's a revolutionary fitness app with AI elements. A month later, Jess, babe, you see, that developer turned out to be not quite honest, but I have a new idea. And then Barbara appeared. After selling her house in Florida due to debts, she moved in with us. It's temporary until Mom finds a suitable apartment, Michael insisted. 3 years later, she was still living with us, turning my home into her domain. Jessica, dear, she would start every morning. I noticed you buy too expensive groceries. In my time. Barbara demanded more. Costly medical procedures not covered by insurance, membership in a country club to maintain social connections, endless gifts for her friends from the local church. Everything changed yesterday morning. Michael came to me in the kitchen, nervously fiddling with the sleeve of his crumpled shirt. Jess, we need to talk. Mom took out a loan, $25,000, just a small loan at Bank of America. You can help, right? You've always been so understanding. I looked at him, feeling something finally break inside. Understanding? My voice trembled. 7 years, Michael. For 7 years, I've been paying for everything. The $4,000 monthly mortgage, utilities, your endless startups, your mother's whims. When was the last time you contributed even a cent to our family budget? Don't start! His face reddened. You always reproach me with money. Yes, you earn more, but that doesn't give you the right. Right? I laughed. What rights do you have, Michael? The right to spend my money on yet another failed project? Or the right to let your mother take loans that I pay? At that moment, Barbara entered the kitchen in her pink robe. Oh God, Jessica is making a scene again, she exclaimed. Michael, dear, I told you she never understood our family. In our time, wives supported their husbands, not— Enough! I slammed my hand on the table so hard that the coffee cup jumped. You both live in some made-up reality, but today on my birthday, everything will change. And now I'm sitting here at the festive table, ready to finally speak the truth. In my bag is a folder with documents, bank statements, copies of loan agreements, printouts of messages where Michael admits to embezzling my money. My lawyer, Sarah Goldberg, confirmed. With such evidence, the court will be on my side. Michael stands up, swaying, raises a glass of whiskey. I want to toast my wife. His voice sounds mocking. To Jessica, who thinks she's better than everyone else, who counts every cent and doesn't believe in my abilities, who humiliates my mother. Enough. I stand, straightening my back. The room falls silent. Since we've started speaking the truth, let's finish it. I take out the folder with documents and look around at all those present. Among the guests are my colleagues from Morgan Logistics, Michael's relatives, my mother Elizabeth, and younger sister Emily. Before I continue, I want everyone to see the real picture of our family life. My voice sounds calm and confident. Over the past 7 years, I have invested over $1 million in this marriage. Here are all the statements. Jess, what are you doing? Michael tries to grab the documents, but I step back. Don't you dare touch her! My sister Emily jumps up. Sit down, dear. Barbara pulls her son by the sleeve. Let her show her true colors. I continue. Mortgage. $4,000 monthly. Utilities. $500. Insurance, groceries, gas. Another $2,000, and that's not counting your business projects, Michael. Remember that Bitcoin startup? $50,000 disappeared in a week. Those were investments, Michael yells. And remember the dog walking app? Another $30,000. And where is it? The market wasn't ready, he mutters. I take out my phone. I have recordings of our conversations. Here, listen. I play the audio. Jess, babe. This is the last time, I swear. Just $10,000, and I'll pay back next month. Michael's voice sounds pleading. Barbara jumps up. How dare you record private conversations? That's low. In the state of Massachusetts, one-party recording is allowed. I smile. My lawyer confirmed. Lawyer? Michael pales. Yes, dear. And one more thing, Barbara. I'm suing you for unjust enrichment. 3 loans at Bank of America, 2 at Wells Fargo. Total amount $95,000. All registered in your name, but I paid them off. This is ridiculous, Barbara shrieks. I'm an elderly woman. You can't. I can. And I will. You took the money knowing you couldn't repay it. That's fraud. Michael suddenly changes tactics. Jessie, dear, let's talk in private. We're a family. We can fix everything. Family? I laugh bitterly. Family doesn't prey on each other. By the way, I've already filed for divorce. Papers will arrive tomorrow. Silence hangs over the room. My mother, Elizabeth, stands up and approaches me. I'm proud of you, daughter. You'll regret this, Michael yells, knocking over a chair. I have the right to half the property. No, you don't, I reply calmly. The house is registered in my name, all payments made from my account. I have all the evidence of your financial inactivity for 7 years, and you know what? The court will oblige you to compensate part of my expenses. Bitch! Michael lunges at me, but my colleague John manages to intercept him. Just try to touch her, he warns. The police are already on their way. The police? Barbara clutches her heart. Yes, I called them in advance, just in case, and cameras are also on. I indicate the corner of the room where a small surveillance camera stands. 5 minutes later, the police arrive. Officer Rodriguez, familiar from our neighborhood, calmly listens to the situation. Mr. Thompson, I recommend you leave the premises, he says to Michael. If you continue to threaten Mrs. Thompson, we will be forced to arrest you. Michael, swaying, heads for the door but stops. This is not the end, Jessica. Do you think you're so smart? I'll tell everyone what you're really like. Please, tell them, I reply calmly. Tell them how I worked 60 hours a week to pay for your whims, how you drank the money saved for vacation, how your mother used my credit card without permission. That's a lie, Barbara shouts, but I take out another document. Here's footage from Target, where you pay with my card, and here are checks from Nordstrom for $3,000. Remember that urgent purchase of a designer handbag? My sister Emily comes closer. Jess, why did you stay silent for so long? We could have helped. Because I believed in him. I nod towards Michael. I believed he would change, find a job, start contributing. Foolish, right? You're just jealous of my son, Barbara explodes. He's a creative soul. He needs time. 7 years, I raise my voice. 7 years of time. Over these years, people create companies, build careers. And what did he create? Debts and excuses. Officer Rodriguez coughs politely. Ma'am, we can escort both of them. Yes, please. And note that I forbid them from approaching the house. As the police take Michael and Barbara away, silence falls in the house. My guests are in shock, but I see understanding in their eyes. My boss, Sarah Johnson, vice president of Morgan Logistics, approaches me. Jess, now I understand why you refused the promotion in Chicago. You were tied here to this. Yes, but no more. Is the offer still open? Of course. Director of the International Department, 6-figure salary, full benefits. When can you start? I smile. After the divorce. My lawyer says it will take about 3 months. The following weeks turned into a whirlwind of events. Michael started a war on social media, posting messages about how I destroyed the family. His friends wrote angry comments, but I remained silent. Only once did I respond by posting a single bank statement. The comments quickly quieted down. Barbara tried to pressure me through the church community. Poor single mother, abandoned by heartless daughter-in-law. But I provided the pastor with documents on the loans, and the church refused to intervene. At the first court hearing, Michael appeared in an expensive suit. Later I learned it was bought on credit. With a new lawyer. Your Honor, the lawyer began, my client invested his time, energy, intellectual potential in the family. Really? Interrupted my lawyer, Sarah Goldberg. Allow me to show Mr. Thompson's tax returns for the past 7 years. 0 income. And here's the credit history. 7 denied loan applications due to lack of employment. Judge Martinez, an elderly woman with a perceptive gaze, studied the documents carefully. Mr. Thompson, Judge Martinez addressed Michael. How do you explain these bank transfers? $75,000 to a cryptocurrency exchange, $30,000 on a vintage Harley, all from your wife's account? Michael squirmed in his seat. Those were investments, Your Honor. I plan to repay everything. When? Sharply asked Sarah Goldberg. Maybe when you launched that dog walking app? Or that fitness startup? Oh, I know. When you opened that craft beer bar that closed within a month? Laughs were heard in the courtroom. I sat straight, looking ahead, recalling how a year ago Michael came home excited. Jess, babe, I found the perfect place for a bar. Just a $50,000 initial deposit. Imagine. Craft beer, live music. Michael, you have no experience in the restaurant business, I replied then. But I have vision, and you have money. Judge Martinez interrupted my thoughts. Now, let's discuss the situation with Mrs. Barbara Thompson. Mrs. Thompson Sr., explain to the court why you took out loans without having income. Barbara dabbed her eyes with a handkerchief. I'm a sick elderly woman. I needed money for treatment. For treatment? Sarah pulled out new documents. Here's bills from the Four Seasons Spa, Gucci Boutiques, Tiffany Jewelry Store. Is this treatment too? At this moment, Michael jumped up. You have no right to talk to my mother like that. Jessica, you're a monster. You destroyed our family. Silence in the court. Judge Martinez banged her gavel. Mr. Thompson, one more outburst like that, and I will fine you for contempt of court. After 3 hours of hearings, the judge made a decision. The house remains with me. Michael is obligated to pay $150,000 in compensation for unreasonable expenses, and Barbara must settle loans totaling $95,000. But we don't have that kind of money, Barbara exclaimed. In that case, the judge replied, an asset seizure will be imposed, including jewelry bought with credit funds. Leaving the courtroom, I encountered Michael in the corridor. Are you happy? He hissed. Destroyed my reputation, made me look like a loser. No, Michael. I looked him in the eye. You made yourself look like a loser. I just stopped covering it up. At home, Emily was waiting with a bottle of champagne. To freedom. To a new life. I smiled. A week later, I accepted the job offer in Chicago, sold the house in Boston, bought an apartment in downtown Chicago overlooking Lake Michigan. Michael tried protesting against my move, but his new lawyer explained that after divorce, he has no right to influence my decisions. Chicago greeted me with September's wind and new opportunities. My apartment on the 35th floor in the River North area became a real sanctuary. Minimalist design, huge windows, no traces of the past life. An excellent place for a fresh start, said Sarah Johnson, surveying my new office at Morgan Logistics. By the way, we have a problematic project with a Chinese partner. Can you handle it? Give me a week, I replied, feeling familiar excitement. In the evening, my sister Emily called. Jess, you won't believe it. Michael showed up at your old office in Boston, demanded your new contacts, made a scene. And what? Security escorted him out, and Barbara now goes around our mutual acquaintances, telling how you abandoned a sick woman to fate. I smiled. Tell her her illnesses didn't stop her from selling the diamond ring bought with my money yesterday. Work consumed me entirely. In 3 months, I restructured the problematic contract with China, increasing company profits by 30%. At the Christmas party, a tall man with attentive brown eyes approached me. Ryan Anderson, he introduced himself. Our firm is designing the new office for Morgan Logistics. Impressive work with the Chinese project. Just the right strategy, I replied. Maybe we can discuss strategy over dinner? His smile was open, without a trace of the egotism Michael suffered from. That evening we talked for 4 hours. Ryan shared stories of his projects, his passion for modern architecture, listened to my tales. No attempts to impress, no boasting. You have scars from past relationships, he said openly. I see it in your eyes. I won't rush things. A week later came a message from a former colleague in Boston. Michael is getting married. Some girl from support service 20 years younger. He's already moved in with her. Poor girl, I replied. Hope she has a good credit history. In February, I received a promotion to Vice President of International Operations. In the evening after the meeting, Ryan waited for me at the office. Congratulations. This deserves celebrating. I have a better idea, I said. Show me your new construction site. He took me to the outskirts of town, where his new project was being built, an eco-friendly residential complex. In the light of the setting sun, the skyscraper seemed golden. Beautiful, I breathed. You know what's most important in architecture? Ryan hugged me over the shoulders. A solid foundation, just like in relationships. At that moment, the phone vibrated. Barbara, the 3rd call this week. Won't you answer? Ryan asked. No. I turned off the phone. The past no longer has power over me. Spring in Chicago bloomed with new colors. My relationship with Ryan developed naturally, without drama and manipulations. He didn't ask for money, didn't create grand schemes, just built a successful career and cared for me. In April, a letter came from Michael's lawyer. My client is ready to discuss debt restructuring. What will you say? Emily asked via video call. Nothing. Let him pay as the court ordered. I flipped through documents of the new project. You know, I no longer feel anger, only gratitude. Gratitude? For what? For the lesson. I learned to value myself, defend borders, and now I know exactly what I'm worth. In May, Barbara made her last attempt to reach through mutual acquaintances, sent out a tearful letter about how the ungrateful daughter-in-law destroyed their family. Let me respond, Ryan suggested, having read the letter. Why? The best revenge is success. And success truly came. My department showed record profits. Company shares rose by 45%. At the annual board meeting, I was appointed managing partner. Congratulations. Ryan met me after the meeting with a bouquet of favorite peonies. How about celebrating at a special place? He brought me to the roof of the skyscraper he designed. The sunset painted the city in gold. Lake Michigan sparkled in the distance. Jessica, Ryan took my hands. I know your story. I know how hard it is for you to trust, but I'm not asking for blind faith. I'm offering partnership, equal, honest, based on respect. He pulled out a small box. This isn't just a ring. It's a promise to be by your side, support your dreams, grow together. Will you marry me? I looked at the ring, elegant, without ostentatious luxury, as real as our feelings. Yes, I replied. But I have one condition. What is it? No cryptocurrencies and dog-walking startups. We laughed, and the last shadows of the past dissolved in that laughter. The next day, I received a short message from Michael. Heard the news. Hope you'll be happy. For the first time in a long time, I replied, Thank you. I'm already happy. The epilogue turned out unexpected. At our wedding a year later, Barbara appeared uninvited. Older, lost the gloss. Forgive me. she said quietly. I was wrong. I hugged her. It's okay. We all got our lessons. Today, looking at nighttime Chicago from the window of our apartment, I think about the path I've walked, about the money lost and earned, about love, false and true, about the strength that comes when you finally say no. Ryan embraces me from behind. What's on your mind? That sometimes you need to lose everything to find yourself. Did you like the story? Write your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next interesting story. See you tomorrow.